Alright, Shalom Akim. I'd like to say Kahalayam, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Right, double honors the apostles and elders of great mills do not rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim around the world that push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Right, this is Shalom. I'd like to, talk a little bit about this article. It's a law coming for citizens to have biodata number. They understand and we know that this is really leading the way for what? The RFID chip, the mark of the beast that the scriptures talk about. Right, let me get down to it. The city Attorney General Faris Rawai said legislation is coming where there will be a unique identification number for all citizens, biodata. You understand? And just whenever I had to scan that chip, you understand, and pick up your special number. Like how in America they have I forget what it's called it. Every person have like a particular number, and sometimes people has even used that to make fraud and steal people's identity. Your social security number, right? You understand? They want to give each person in Trinidad their own individual something like that. But really and truly, what they're lining it up for is for when that time of the chip come. Each person that would have a chip in them will have its own individual number. You realize you use the term biographical data. You understand? There's something biometrical they want to bring. It's not like how you will have identification card with a number. They want to actually have it in you because this is prophecy. You see, he was contributing. If I could say, even with the terms of like the radio frequency law to actually, put down someone. It in the law already. I believe it's the 2000 Act Section 34 Act 11 in the 2012 version, but it actually in the law already. Whereas they could actually put radio frequency identification technology on you to monitor you, right? It say he was contributing to debate on the miscellaneous provisions, right? Law enforcement officers amendment bill in the Senate on Wednesday. He said the police under law are allowed to take fingerprints and photographs in respect to deportees and people at ports of entry. It said he reported that there was an amendment in the bill to improve the law by adding that it is an offense to assault, obstruct, or resist an officer in the exercise of his duties or a person assisting an officer. You understand? Though they mix other things up in the bill itself. But we know what this really targeted towards. It targeted towards making improvements for the time of the chip, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. It say, and we do that specifically because there are persons at ports of entry or persons who are assisting police officers in the course of their duties, and we've sought to manage the proportionality in the use of force and in the compellability of these circumstances. He said Trinidad and Tobago is going to come to the point where, like the rest of the world, right? Because we know that is what they want to do. They want to be, I just call here, mini America, right? All the things that they just do is imitate America, and really and truly, their heads are America. You understand? They receive their instructions, the things that they could and can't do from America, even though it doesn't be, they don't actually come down here and do it themselves. They have their instructions that they just receive. Right? Like the rest of the world, people must mandatorily give their fingerprints. And I just fingerprints. Soon it will be chip scan. I can tell you now that I am working on a specific piece of law which is a unique identification number for every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, where your biodata would be captured specifically. You see, a biodata will be captured, so we know he's not talking about a physical card. You understand? It's not a card, it's not like a little swipe card, like a credit card he's talking about. And we know it's not a piece of paper because it's data, it's a biodata. You understand? We know this law is ready for what? The mark of the beast, because they're preparing these things. As scripture says, the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knew that he had but a short time. But when you go back up here and you say, I can tell you now that I am working on a specific piece of law, we know he have nothing to do with this. He's just a front man who they're using to actually fulfill these things. But this is not his will. You understand? There's a men that over him that given him this law to pass. Right? Your data would be captured specifically. So like the US, where you have a special security services number, right? Your social security number. You see, we can therefore eliminate fraud and other ills in society. And that fraud and other ills isn't for the high people, because plenty of them politicians always getting caught in some kind of fraudulent or some kind of racket. So it's not to eliminate fraud. Half of them, majority of them is being fraud in some way. Either they're getting bogus contracts or something. You understand? It's not to eliminate fraud. We know what these things are for. It's for control. And that legislations ought to come at you very shortly. So there's something they want to put in effect as soon as possible. It's the LROI said clause 7 of the miscellaneous provisions law enforcement officers amendment bill seeks to have amendments to the Customs Act. He explains the act is a pre-1962 law, and added that people may not be aware that customs officers have greater power than police in certain circumstances. It's saying the power of forfeiture is to the power of immunity and serious action customs officer rank number 1. He said it was no secret that the contribution from the customs authority is a large part of the country's GDP, right? And we have to take our customs law seriously. You see, he explains the bill has an amplification of obstruction of customs officers' offenses from a fine of 1,500 to summary convictions and exposure to $250,000 fine, imprisonment of 10 years, and conviction on indictment to a fine of 500,000 and imprisonment for 15 years. And you see how they talk about raising fines and putting fines in all these different obstructions and violations. Is also one of the methods that they're going to use when they're passing all these different laws for the chip and so forth. They will say if you take it, it's good and so forth, and you're a good citizen. But if you don't take it, it will have this penalty. You might have to pay this fine. You might have to serve time in jail. You understand? This is different ways that data is used to actually to get you to comply with certain things by paying penalties. Like I was telling somebody just today, you understand? Things is sometimes be on penalties and benefits. And the penalties is be for what? To make sure you're compliant. You understand? And that is how that is one of the ways that they're going and cause all small and great. Because if you don't want to comply, you will have penalties. You might be arrested, you might have to pay a fine. If some people in times to come might be put to death. Because when it comes to the mark of the beast, we know that this is something that's going to be forced on people, right? He said this will feed into the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority structure. The proposed TTRA seeks to replace the Board of Island Revenue and the Customs and Excise Division, right? And I read this last part here. It's almost finished. It say you can't have inadequate offenses and penalties if you're going to take your revenue seriously, right? So they want to have serious penalties put in place to be able to protect their revenue, right? They say he added, if everybody in this country pays their fair share on the lower limb, more people paying smaller amounts consistently and fairly, our country has the opportunity to be one of the most profitable. You understand? And you can see where the minds of these people are. But these people who pass in these laws, they sit in Moses' seat. You understand? Them as the rulers, them comfortable. You understand? Them as the lawgivers. Even though they don't actually care about the Most High laws, them is like the kings. You understand? So that's showing you where their mind is. And we know that they don't care about the people. We know they don't care about the people. But they try to make it look like if they're done for the benefit of the country and they want the country to prosper. No, the country would not prosper under them. Why? The scriptures say when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And they are of the wicked. They are of their father the devil. Right? It say our country has the opportunity to be one of the most profitable. It say spectacular and decent countries in the world to live in. After all, I'm certain God is a Trinity, and that is one saint awaiting patiently to hear people correct for themselves when the Lord started to destroy these places, including Trinidad. See that God is a Trinity talk, awaiting patiently for when destruction and calamity hit them, for that talk to no longer be in existence. Anyway, I hope this was edifying. With that, I say Kahalayam Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakodash, the balance the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim around the world that pushes truth to the four corners of the earth. Days Yaraba from me, GMS Trinidad East Camp, saying Shalom, Akim, stay strong.